1. To spot a viper, first look for a triangular head. Pit vipers are the most prevalent venomous snakes in the United States. These snakes have broad triangular heads that are much wider than the neck and are widest at the base. They also have a hole between their eyes and nostrils on their faces, which perceives heat and makes it simpler for them to find their prey. Look for a triangular head form, a pit on the face, and vertical cat-like pupils to identify a pit viper. Moreover, pit vipers can be found in the America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. Several rattlesnake species and water moccasins are among the species of pit vipers that can be found in North America, also known as cottonmouth snakes. Exception: there are a number of venomous snake species with narrow heads and round pupils, in addition to those with triangular heads. To recognize a venomous snake, don't solely rely on these characteristics. 2. Use the rattle or button to recognize a rattlesnake. Their most distinctive characteristic, other from their triangular heads and massive bodies, is the rattling at the end of their tails. In other circumstances, if their rattle has been gone, they may just have a button, a single rattle segment, or a squared-off tail. Knowing the various hues and patterns that correspond to various rattlesnake species is also useful. For instance, as suggested by their name, diamondback rattlesnakes have a striking diamond pattern on their backs. 3. Use the colors to identify coral snakes. A type of venomous snake with vivid colors called a coral snake is found in the America, as well as some regions of Asia and the Pacific. These snakes don't resemble pit vipers. They have small, slightly rounded heads and circular pupils in their eyes. Even though their hues and patterns differ, you can usually spot them by looking for vivid red, yellow, and black bands. Exception: certain non-venomous snakes also have bands of red and yellow color that touch. 4. To identify a black mamba, look for a mouth that is blue-black. You can run into the deadly black mamba if you reside in or travel to sub-Saharan Africa. These snakes are gray or olive in appearance and can reach lengths of up to 14 feet, 4.3 meters. A black mamba can be identified by the unusual blue-black hue of the inside of its mouth, which it may exhibit if it feels threatened or afraid. Mambas and cobras are related, and when threatened, they exhibit comparable behaviors. A black mamba may rise up and open a hood or flap around its neck if you corner it. Black mambas are elapids, not vipers, like coral snakes and cobras, distinguished by short fangs set in the front of the upper jaw. They have round pupils and narrow heads. 5. Parts of Asia, Africa, and the Pacific are home to these well-known venomous snakes. The cobra's hood around its head and neck, which it reveals when threatened, as well as its menacing hiss, are its most distinctive features. Certain cobras have the ability to squirt venom at their assailants. Certain cobras can also be identified by their unusual patterns. For instance, the Indian cobra possesses what seems to be a pair of spectacle-like connected eye spots on the back of its hood. 6. Become acquainted with the poisonous snakes that inhabit your region. There are many different types of venomous snakes in the world, and there isn't a single set of obvious signs you can look for to determine whether a snake is poisonous. The best method to be certain a snake is poisonous is to research it based on its characteristics, habits, and habitat. Examine a local reptile guide to learn which snakes are native to your area and their distinctive traits in order to recognize non-venomous snakes. 7. Recognize how different species differ in appearance. Certain non-venomous snakes might be challenging to differentiate from venomous ones that seem similar. If there are any species in your area that are prone to confusion, learn what makes each type unique by studying them. For instance, people frequently mistake a harmless water snake for the poisonous water moccasin, also known as the cottonmouth. By observing how the snake's head and body are shaped, you can distinguish between the two. Water snakes are slim with narrow heads, while water moccasins have hefty bodies and triangular heads. Due to their similar coloring and aggressive nature, gopher snakes, which are non-venomous, are frequently mistaken for rattlesnakes. Gopher snakes, however, don't have rattles and instead have a pointed tail. Last but not least, please be cautious and mindful of your surroundings. I appreciate you watching my video, and please don't forget to share it with your dear ones.